When you finally sit down to learn something new, you might find that you're a little too presumptuous in your initial abilities to tackle the profound and obscure nature of your desired subject. Well, you're not alone in those feelings, because these are feelings that Italian-born and French court writer and poet Christine de Pizan expresses in her writing Christine's Vision. In fact, the selected writings of Christine de Pizan has extracted sections from her writings, which the editors of this book have titled Christine Tells How She Began to Study. And that very piece by de Pizan is the focal point of today's reading log. It may be comforting and perhaps encouraging to know that a celebrated and respected author, such as Christine de Pizan, has felt what so many of us who listen to the call of our nature to create have felt. De Pizan reflects on the learning attempts of her youth, obscure sciences written in terms that I could not understand, for as Cato says, to read and not to understand is not reading at all. Maybe you've been in the same boat that de Pizan is describing here, reading about something that you don't understand yet, but nonetheless yearn to incorporate into your own knowledge bank. Maybe that's where you are right now. Even though she felt the quality of her studying wasn't up to par with what she wanted or needed, she didn't let that deter her from moving forward to go on and create a stronger knowledge base. I therefore embarked on the path to which nature and the stars inclined me, that is, the love of learning. Then I closed my doors, that is, my senses, so that they would no longer wander around external things. Now, if you're familiar with a certain New England poet and prose writer and general appreciator of the nature of things, Ralph Waldo Emerson, you may be familiar with a similar sentiment that he puts forward in his opening lines of a little text called Nature. To go into solitude, a man needs to retire as much from his chamber as from society. I am not solitary whilst I read and write, though nobody is with me. For the love of learning, it's never too late to start. Yet, why is it so easy to feel like we know next to nothing when it comes to our passions in life? It seems that feeling that so many of us share is one of those amazing paradoxes of learning and knowledge accumulation. The deeper that we dive into a subject, the clearer our vision becomes of what lies ahead of us to learn, and when that happens, then we start to get a better picture of just how much we do not know yet. I personally interpret this feeling as a sign of learning maturity. It takes a well-balanced trio of ego to not only identify when we don't know something, but to then make a course correction, to then learning that thing for real. Based off of what de Pizan's written here, I think it's reasonable to believe that if we stick with our studies and ask for help when we need it from experts in our desired field of understanding, we'll inevitably cultivate a deeper and wider scope of understanding, and we'll do it with a certain ease. But first, we must turn to those deductions of science we are able to comprehend in the time we have for study. De Pizan argues we must muster through this stage of learning and appreciate it for all it has to offer. We can't do hard things. After all, you will forget the hard work when you hear the voices of your books. So I conclude that we should start where we are. I mean, that's all we can really ask of ourselves, right? Where we were, or where we hope to be one day, are both significant things, no doubt. But we're not there, or over there. We are here, and here is where we can move forward from. So, start where you are. Peace. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and check back tomorrow for another reading log.